Welcome to Chapter 4, where we home in on why we should protect a species and how we can protect a species of our choice. Check out the Culminating Experience Teacher Guide. Now, this is an online exclusive in Lesson 4.18. It's not in the printed teacher guide, and we'll walk through some of the key pieces now. It's got thought starters in case your students are struggling with ideas over how to protect a species. Example student work. In this case, it's a completed poster. And our detailed rubric with categories for each of the 3 NGSS dimensions. The rubric identifies 4 key criteria. Students will need to provide background on the existing climate needs of the organism, its behavioral adaptations if it's an animal, or its reproductive structures and strategies if it's a plant. A prediction of how changes in the climate will affect the organism, which obviously requires research on both the cause, expected climate changes in that region, and the effect, how that organism is responding already or will respond in the future. And lastly, an action plan with creative ideas about how they can protect this species from these possible changes. We break this up into 3 stages for the students: the background research, the prediction, and the solution. Students will display all their thinking in a single poster, their deliverable. To make all this happen, students begin by revisiting the Protecting Plants and Animals unit roadmap, and they reflect on what they've learned about in the unit. We introduce the project to the students using the Protect a Species project overview presentation, which includes the goals of the project and breaks the project down into those 3 steps. Then, students review the scoring rubric and ask clarifying questions so they can really understand the expectations for the project. Next, students review some key strategies in order to help them be more successful in their own research. Finally, it's time for students to choose a species and begin their research into how climate change might affect it. Students basically have the next 2 days for their research, and each day we review the project expectations using the project overview presentation and the grading rubric. By the middle of the 2nd day, they should start turning their research into a poster. They finalize their poster on the 3rd day and begin planning their oral presentation. In the day's exit ticket, they name a person or audience that they would like to share their presentation with outside of school and how they intend to make that happen. In the next lesson, it's time to present our posters. Half the class will stand with their posters, while the other half circulates around taking notes using a worksheet. Then they switch roles. At the end, the class reflects on what they learned from one another and how it fits into everything that they saw in the unit roadmap. In the final lesson of the unit, students take the unit assessment. Then, the Why Protect a Species presentation helps inspire our students to take what they learned and bring it outside the classroom walls and into the real world. For a vision of what that could look like, they watch a video where filmmaker Bryn Mawr Williams and a PhD candidate and researcher Rachel Bonan discuss their interests and mutual respect for bees. And that's it for Unit 4. Up next, Unit 5, Reducing Waste and Pollution.